Councilman Padalecki. Here. Councilman Beck.
Here.
Councilman Frankovia.
Here.
Councilman Murray. Absent, and place 5 is open. We have a quorum. If everybody could rise and join me in please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please have a seat. Before we go to the meeting, I just want to say it's a new face up here. We're going to carry on where Dee left off. She did a fantastic job. Now she's our judge. So full-time Judge Grimm, and I hope to do as well as she did up here. So saying that, we'll carry on. So before you, in your packet, you have some resumes for people who'd like to fill the seat of Councilman Place 5. So when there's an absence in the council, where there's a year left in the term, the council will appoint a person. So we'll vote to appoint a person. And saying that, we had three applications in there. We had an email tonight from Mr. Hammond. I'll read it out. He said, "Good afternoon. After consideration, I'd like to respectfully withdraw my name for consideration to the vacant council position. At the same time, would ask to be considered for any opening on the BOA that may come up in the near future. Please refer to my submission brief resume in our regard." So Richard Hammond has, he discarded his resume. He has withdrawn from consideration. So.
I'll make a motion to appoint Brian Barr.
Do we have a second?
I see.
We have a vote and a second to appoint Brian Barr to council place 5. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Brian Barr, unfortunately, is not with us tonight. He is on a trip. So we will we'll have to swear him in at a later time. So do we at this time, we'll have a presentation from our receive our year-end delinquent property tax collection summary report from Weinberger, Donegan, Blair, and Sampson, LLP. Glad to have you here again.
Thank you, Robert Rocha of the Weinberger office. Best way to go over this, let me just break it down into a year. So, as you know, January through March, the first quarter, President District sends out, starts evaluating the values of properties, you need the tax deferrals, homestead exemptions, you need the applications that are filed. That's the first quarter of the year. Second quarter, you start filing your protests, you start doing the hearings, you have your evaluation being determined. If a protest is filed, if the protest is not liked, they go to and file in the district court a lawsuit. The tax entity, the city will get a information on the tax amount, the tax rate, the taxable value coming into the city at the end of the second quarter. Again, the third quarter, you start predicting your truth of taxation, your tax rate, and get that put together. In the second quarter, you provide your tax rate to the tax office. The tax office gets your tax rates, gets the values, and by October thereafter, the tax statements start going out for you paying your taxes. You have until you do quarterly pays, you can do half pays, you pay the full amount. But the following year, in February 1st, they start becoming delinquent, you start collecting penalty interest. And then up to, for instance, this year, in July 1st, anyone who has not paid their tax for that year gets turned over to us for collections. Starting at that time in July, we start doing mailings, phone calls, and at some point, if nothing is done, we have to file tax lawsuits. So what I'm going to cover is just a year in review. So if you look on page 4, you'll see the collections, and again, this is from the tax office, as far as collections for each of the specific years. So for instance, this is as of December 31st of the end of last year. I do have an update I'll get to it for as of March collection percentages. We look for tax year 2024. In July 2025, we had 95% of your property owners pay the taxes before it gets turned over for collections. That's 95.7. At the end of December, we're at 97.5%, and so far down the line, we're getting as close as we can, 100%. But again, you cannot get to that 100% because a couple things. You have your tax deferrals, over 65, military, and you have those other litigation or payment arrangements. And to get a little more detail on that, if you look on page 5, the next 5, we broke down everything that's delinquent in the city from tax year 2024 and prior. Remember, tax year 2025 does not come over to us until July this year. So you have 10 on the litigation, the bankruptcies, payment plans. Now, those 5 payment plans are the ones that we have in-house. So it's where now where they don't want to go to the tax office, they just want to make payments. So we just monitor that. They're making their monthly payments, we monitor that, we're not going to do anything. 15 are appraisal district issues or bad addresses. So we have those, we have these skip traces. So you got to remember, if there's a bad address, and what we do is try to do a skip trace and find the address or give them that letter. And we say, well, here's taxes due. They say, well, I never got any information. Well, the thing is, it's the responsibility of the taxpayer. If they move, change address, wherever they may be, it's their responsibility to go to the appraisal district to update their address. Otherwise, they lose that due process. Again, this whole process with the appraisal district, tax office involves the due process. Everyone has a due process on this. Again, your biggest amount, percentage-wise, is your over 65 in tax deferrals. It's about 35.4% of your tax roll. And it gives you a total of 84 accounts, total amount of base taxes delinquent on the roll. After that, we list the different mass mailings we do for the year. Our target mailing for specific lawsuits. Our outbound collection calls are listed. On page 7, we have both what's called inbound correspondence and phone inquiries. So anytime anyone contacts us or sends us some type of documentation, we have that specific account number in our Oracle-based system. That information is uploaded. Phone calls are recorded. And information is uploaded. We do texting and emails also, if need be. All that is uploaded into our system. The payment arrangements listed are with the tax office. For last year, you had 30 payment contracts, over $44,000. Payment contracts by tax statute, there's 2 types, homestead payment arrangements and non-homestead payment arrangements. But both of them can go up to maximum of 36 months to 3 years. Next page is our research. Again, address ownership research, like I indicated, if it comes back as a bad address, we go back to the skip tracing and find the new information of the new address and to get a phone number and a new address to mail that delinquent tax statement. Bottom of page 8 is abstract title. So at some point, we've gone and contacted them. They have not made a payment arrangement. They're not qualified for a tax deferral. Next step is filing a tax lawsuit. For real property, we have to go to the tax clerk's records, pull all the information, whoever has an interest, title owners, lien holders, divorce decrees, wills, child support that's been filed, any IRS claims. We get the title, and we get 4 title requests from last year. We received 3. Once we get those titles, and then we recheck, no payment arrangements, nothing else, we file the tax lawsuit against individuals. So we filed 5 lawsuits last year. On page 9, we took 1 judgment, ended up getting paid, and total 10 dismissals. So at some point, those couldn't get paid. And notice there's no tax sales for last year in the city of St. Hedwig. Everyone's paid off the amount of their payment contracts. Claims for bankruptcies. As of the end of December, we had 4 bankruptcies totaling over $37,000. Again, we file our claim. We have first priority, first lien. Bankruptcy to file. We have to wait for the bankruptcy process depending on the type of bankruptcy. And at some point, those will be paid. Page 13, again, this is a little more of a detailed breakdown of the percentages. Tax year 2024, your levy in 2024 was $1.3 million. At turnover, $57,000 was not paid, 95%. As of March of 2026, we're at 98% collections for tax year 2024. And then just an update on those last two pages, which are pages 14 and 15, just get it up to date as of April figures. For tax year 2025-26, we don't have on there, we're at 34,000. And for delinquent tax collection for calendar year from January 2026 through April, we're 11,582. Any questions?
The biggest slice of that pie is over 65.
Or over 65 tax year forward.
It's over a third.
Correct.
Is that normal?
I've seen higher, depending on the
So it's-
location.
It's average.
It's average, correct.
I bring it up because you've got about 10 categories.
Correct,
It's
that's-
unquestionably the biggest of the
correct.
list.
And under the statute, they can do payment plans, quarterly payments. They get tax deferred, and something I do tell individuals who get tax deferred, don't pay their tax. Let your kids know. Problem is, people are living older, they're in their 80s now, 90s, and they defer it, it's not going to pay the tax. But what I tell them is, remember your heirs. When when you pass away, no one else, or 55 or older, live in the property, that tax deferral falls off. And if you have not paid anything for the past 20+ years, your heirs inherit that problem. And sometimes I've seen where the value and the amount of taxes don't match. And they even though they want the property, they can't pay for the property. And a lot of the older individuals do not like telling their kids if they owe money. So I'm on my dad, let me know.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll have an update for the East Central Independent School District.
Thank you, I appreciate it, Mayor, council members. Thank you so much for the opportunity again. I would like to thank the mayor. He was able to come out. We had a ribbon cutting for Valor Middle School last week. It was incredible. I invite any of you, if you're interested, just reach out to my office. I'll be happy to give you a tour of the facility. You'll be very proud of the middle school that's developed just right down the street from here. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the best part about it is we have a lot of the kids that are going to be going to the school there were there. Mayor can tell you the moment that they saw their school in particular areas, you could just see the joy on their face and the smiles that were there. So again, just reach out to my office and we'll be happy to give you guys a tour if you want to see it before the first day of school opens. We've got furniture in it now, so it actually looks like a real school when you go in it. But really excited. But here I'm going to share just what, if you don't get a chance to go to graduation, it's sometimes hard to comprehend what our senior classes always do, and it just amazes me from the 13 years that some of our kids matriculate through our system, what they're able to accomplish by the time they get their graduation. So this year was our largest graduating class in the history of East Central. We had 824 graduates, which is just blows my mind. But of that group, the thing I'm most happy and proud of to be able to say is that 98% graduated college, career, and military ready. Right now, as far as we know, that's the highest in the entire Perry County area. And that's a credit to the kids, but they're also their families and our staff and the hard work that they put forward to be able to do that, which I'm going to talk about a few of the things. I've got a document for you that you can refer to that we wanted just to give you a little lead behind. But of this year's graduating class, we had 310 that are graduating with an industry-based certification. And those are a level 1 certification, which means that they have a higher earning potential and they can enter in the workforce right away. So we're talking about things like, you'll see down below at some of the programs that are there. We had 267 seniors that actually participated in paid internships and practicums, which we're trying to get them workforce ready. So again, these are towards, many of them towards their certifications. We had 22 that got their non-commissioned security officers, and all of them are planning on going eventually onto the police department and doing some work. So Chief, just so you know, they may be looking for some opportunities. We had 3 that are now registered pharmacy techs, 27 certified nurses, aides, 21 certified medical. By the way, we expect those numbers to continue to go up because some of them weren't able to get certified because they have to be at least 18 years of age or older. So we'll have several that will begin to test out this summer. We're usually in the 40s for our CNA certifications. We had 96 welding certs. We had 19 that got their aspiring entrepreneurship certifications. We have 11 educational aides, which we had them sign. We did a little signing ceremony, which is going to give them a preferred interview process because we want to hire them back as teachers once they get their teaching credentials to try to build our own pipeline. We have 3 that are going to finish up their commission on fire protection. If you're not aware, we have a very solid fire and EMT program, and so we have kids that go on and become firefighters and work for EMT. And then we have 10 that graduated with an associate's degree. And through some of our key tech programs that we have, we know that number will go up as well. The other thing down in the bottom is not necessarily connected to our senior class, but sometimes people don't know all the programs that we offer in East Central. So many of you are aware of our FFA program, but our ag mechanics and mechanical systems. We now are really building out a robust cybersecurity. Our new high school, which will be off up in Old Corpus Christi, we're actually tailoring an entire wing of that school to be cybersecurity. So kids in any part of our district, if they want to learn and become certified in any of those areas, that we can get them certified in cybersecurity. We're already partnering with Alamo community colleges, but also with UTSA to do a Promise to Promise plan. So the goal will be when they graduate, they'll have their associates, and then they can use that to go to the cybersecurity school at UTSA. But we already have a program that's underground, that's on the ground in East Central. We have digital communications, business management, engineering, several programs there. We just now, this year is the first time we've had, we have a drone pilot program. We have one kid that has graduated already with this drone pilot's license, so they'll be able to get a job right away over Amazon. We have law enforcement, fire science, nursing, certified medical assistant, and then teacher prep. And then the last thing is off to the right. In this graduating class, it says 16, but it's now already up to 21 because many of them have to still go through MEPS, so we don't certify them as that until they go through their MEPS. So we've got 21 that have enlisted in the military. We're really proud of that. We have 2,191 credits earned this year by our students, which when we know when they get their dual credit hours earned, that's just another step for them to have an opportunity to earn a credential in college. 550 Alamo Providence Scholars, which means that these students will get full paid tuition at any Alamo Community College school, all the way up through their associate's degree, or even if they're going to get their industry certification. And it's completely covered. That's tuition, fees, books, and that requires a lot. They not only have to demonstrate that they're college ready in order to get into the program, but they have to go through multiple steps and go through classes in order to be able to do that. And last year we were the highest district in those numbers. Right now we're tracking to be the highest in those numbers of all area district schools. We had 219 kids participate in ROTC, 662 in our FFA program, which is the highest number we've ever had. And we've talked in the past with this council about with our future bond plans, and knowing that where our high school is now, our current high school will be the magnet school for the FFA, and our idea is using current bond savings, but in future bond proposals, building that out to be a large magnet FFA program once we eventually get to a third high school down the road. We had 427 kids that did theater and choir, 230 in band. You can see we have 850 kids participating in athletics. One of the things we're also really proud of is over 4,000 community service hours earned by our students this year, which is just incredible. And last but not least, we have 15 students participating in our ACE program, which is our architecture, construction, and engineering, which people may not know what that is we have mentors that come in that are from those industries. We have architects, engineers, and those that are working in construction companies. They partner with our students, these 15 kids, and they actually give them a real-world project. Then they take them off-site, they take them to the areas that they're trying to work to develop. They learn a lot about the engineering design process, they learn about the construction process from beginning to end, and then they have to design a plan that they're trying to solve. So last year it was a stadium, an outdoor football stadium for UTSA, and then they have to present it to an entire panel of engineers, architects at UTSA, and it's an incredible program that gives kids a lot of entry points. So again, don't want to take too much of your time. Just want to share some of the things that are happening in the district that I know your taxes go to and we're proud of, and just to be aware of anything that's happening in East Central. I am planning on coming back at our next meeting. It'll be either me or Mr. Toscano. We are going to start talking about the economic impacts that strong public schools have on the local economy. So we're working to really drive that up so everybody can understand how that happens when you have strong public schools, when you have students that are graduating, that are career ready, academic ready. What is the economic impact when they come back and live in our communities? So I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have those, but if not, I just appreciate your time.
We've been real busy, it looks like, and the school is fantastic. And for anybody out here, if you haven't been over there, schedule some time to go look at it. School's changed a lot since I've been in school. And I was telling you, that looks like a university campus to me when I was in school, so it's fantastic. Yeah, so,
Thank you guys.
What's the total population of the high school now?
Total population right now,
Roughly.
it's a little over 3,500 students, because we also have to count in our CAST Lee High School that's there, and then we also have a program called Optional Flexible School Day, we know as the Learning Academy. That's our dropout prevention and recovery. They actually all at the same complex itself, so we're anticipating being over 3,600 next year.
And the new high school, I'm gonna call it Ellendorf because it's closest.
Yes, sir.
I know to it. How many do you anticipate pulling from the current high school?
The goal will be anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200. We're building it out for 2,200.
So in theory, both schools will be 4 to 5A?
That more likely will be 4A, believe it or not. Essential will still be, based on the current numbers, still 6A, and it'll be a very small 6A. And they will be actually about a mid-sized 5A in the classification that they're in. And then knowing that in the subsequent bonds, we've already built in infrastructure for a second phase for an additional 1,000 seats. It's another 2-story building that'll be built right off of it. That'll give us 1,000 more student capacity in the new high school. Knowing that our population is only going to continue to increase, and what that does is that defers our ability to have a third high school, which we're still knowing is probably going to be about 6 to 7 years away, that we're going to have to go to the community for a third high school, just based on our rapid growth in the area. But it's a great question. So
We're just trying to figure out when we're gonna get to play Lavernia.
Well, that could still end up the case. That definitely could be, especially with the new.
If they go there, we know.
Yeah, if they go there, there's a good chance that they'll have to, because they'll be looking for opponents, and we will.
Yeah.
Probably them, Floresville, there'll be some schools in the area we haven't had a chance to play in a while. We get to.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Any others? Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you.
Okay, we're gonna have our regular meeting, public comments. This is an invitation to hear citizen comments, which should be limited to 5 minutes per citizen. Discussion of any item not on the agenda shall be limited to one statement of specific factual information given in response to an inquiry. A recitation of existing policy policy in response to an inquiry, and a proposal to place the subject on the agenda for a future meeting. So, Joel, no, you've been here for a lot of meetings. We can't enter in a conversation with you. We can state facts. We can request things to be on the next meeting's agenda, or a direct factual question we can respond to. So on the list, let's see, Ms. Blossom, we missed you. Yes.
Can I also just do my announcements now?
Sure.
Okay, Wanda Velocic, 13810 Nave Way. And my primary reason for being here is to request of the city for them to restripe Lavernia Road where it crosses the Dry Hollow Creek, you know, that sharp curve there. I think, Kate, you helped us with that several years ago. But yes, there's there's not any thing left of that stripe. And we go that way several times a day. And it gets a little nudgy when people don't have that center stripe. And speaking from head-on collision episode there, it really does help to have that stripe in there. We could maybe get the city to look into striking that. Didn't get my announcements over with right quick. I would like to say to the community that we placed 270 flags for the Memorial Day for the veterans between the 3 cemeteries. And also this Sunday is bingo again at the American Legion put on by the auxiliary. And all the money that we collect, our profits that we make from bingo, 100% of it goes back to veteran programs.
Thank you, Warren. Next on the list is Jonathan Cosson. And I forgot to say this earlier, state your name and address for the record, please.
John, House of 15882 East Gable. First on my list of a few things, property at 16168 East Gable. I believe Robert's working on it. That's the connexes that are being turned into houses or business. There's an existing slab there. I guess they don't mind doing whatever they want. So just wanted to bring that back to the top of the list. Secondly would be the pipeline that everybody sees coming through. I've heard a lot of people talking about it already. One, it's ugly, but main concern for me right now is all the bull rock and the drainage pipes. I don't think it's anybody in this room's business to be picking bull rock off of the road, especially bull rock is notorious for getting caught in duels. A lot of people in this room and at this table maintain their own road frontage. Nobody wants to hit that with the lawnmower when they get slung down the road, and then the culverts, you know, are those even gonna be effective? And then lastly, good news, y'all are doing a great job, Robert, Marshall's office, and city maintenance as far as all the grass cutting right now and tree trimming. There's a lot of that, so they're doing a great job.
Thank you. And next, Mr. Hammond.
Pardon my slowness here.
Uh,
I'm Richard Hammond, 2780 Dickman Road, and I'm kind of just following up on Jonathan. My question is, the bull rock, the river rock, whatever it may be, is it the permanency of it? Is it gonna stay there in perpetuity so these guys can have access to those properties? If so, I have a major concern. I already swept rock out in front of I'm on Pittman Road there. And, you know, it just gets caught in tires, it just does. And the heavy equipment that they're bringing in there gets caught and it comes out. And once again, on the drainage that's being installed, they installed the drainage pipe across the road from me, and there's no slope ends on it. Again, is that permanent? Is that temporary? While they're doing construction, I'd like to know that. And then something I wanted to ask the fellow here, I'll just make a brief comment about properties. I know there's a property, a mobile home there on Pittman Road, on the far end of Pittman Road, that's non-livable, so it would come under, you know, the dangerous property site. It's also got, there's no taxes being paid on it. And nobody, I don't think, is gonna go after it because there's $2 million in liens against it. So in that case, what do we do with something like that? So that'd be something just to throw out there, think of, and thank you.
Thank you. And that was the end of public comments. We'll carry on a tradition that Judge Grimm used to do all the time too. If you didn't sign in and you want to say something, feel free to say something. So give another chance to come on up. Okay. All right, we'll get into the agenda now. Before you have the consent agenda, which has city council minutes, finance report. I know they have been sent to you prior to the meeting. Please have a look at it. If there's any corrections, editing, concerns about them.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from last month.
Consent agenda or minutes? We have a motion to accept the consent agenda. We have a second, motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Carries. Okay, on to our report phase. City engineers report. Our engineer couldn't make it today, so I'll read his update. I'll read the update first, and then we'll go to the second part. Success Engineering has been working on various projects in the city of St. Hedwig since approximately February of 2020. The following is a list of all projects completed or underway with next steps or action items. In process, there is no Success projects currently underway. Success is coordinating with the San Antonio River Authority in Barrett County on a development project adjacent to Abbott Road in the St. Hedwig ETJ. The county is requesting that the city floodplain manager sign the MT2 form. Floodplain data is under review. 6S has driven some roads and has developed preliminary opinions of cost for several roadway segments that may be considered for street maintenance. Preliminary costs have been provided to the city manager. That's the end of this report. In your packet, you have recommendations for road maintenance. We can discuss it. He's given 3 roads that he's recommended. One's Miller Road from New Berlin Road to Greytown Road, Pittman Road from 1346 to 3520 Pittman, and North Lupon Road from Miller to Greytown.
He initially had Pittman and Miller, and when I talked to him a bunch this week, he was asking me on the former mayor's request to ask me questions. I threw in the North Lupon because that makes sense. We just finished Lupon Gable, and since North Lupon connects to Miller Road, it makes sense why they got their equipment there. And it's usually done at the same time anyways. So, but the way he's got it put out here, you can easily take it off if you don't agree with our assessment on North Lupon. One important thing, depending on which of these you're looking at, because at the beginning of the week, I got an agenda that had 2 cost estimates. Is that what y'all have? 2 different?
He provided the one with 3 after speaking to you.
And the reason I bring it up, it's important on the one that's over $1 million would be, he's got a name for it. Councilman Becky probably know what it is, but it's the same as they did on the Abbott Spur here, right on the edge of the city line on the west side. The 2 course is what we did on all the other roads, which I thought turned out really, really well. And it's a lot cheaper going that route, but I know he's got 2 course on his latest, but I don't see the other one. And it's like almost double. I call it hot mix, but he's got a different name for it. Let's see if I can find it. Mr. Beck called it
So there's like page 22 with
Type D,
Type D hot mix.
2-inch Type D hot mix, yeah. So I can't remember the reason why we did the Abbott Spur. It's like it is by the ball diamond, it's really nice. But, you know, I know this last time, the 2 course, we imitated what Bear County did, and I thought it turned out really good. So, other than we need to figure this out quickly because paving season has started.
And some of the other big numbers on here too. Yes, the 3-inch reclamation, which I don't see other than the smaller quote.
Basically, it amounts to, the big thing I always look at is total mileage, which is 6.
Right.
And it's right at $1 million, so if it comes in that way, that would, I would say would be a really good cost for our benefit.
That's what Beck goes into your input on roads too. You got
You
some
know,
free
this
go
is
yet?
unique to road maintenance.
We do.
When did we do Pittman last? 6 years ago?
Yeah. It's, Greytown is #1 travel, and then Pittman and Laverne are second. It's, you may be getting a little more on Laverne because of HEB, but you also get a lot on Pittman because of the same reasons.
Has it been longer than that, Pittman? I don't remember Pittman since I've been on the council.
I think the timing on it is important because, as Mr. Hammond pointed out, y'all better be ready for this gas project. And I'm sure Ms. Palazzo will echo on it. Just in this 4 days, from little trucks to medium-sized trucks to big 18-wheelers, somebody also told me before the meeting they started on North Gable, and they said it's huge 18-wheelers. And so I think it's important that if we do this project, we got to decide on which contractor, if we approve all 3 roads, and then we got to put Pittman on the tail end of that. and hope that they get through between the Ball Diamond, what I'm calling Ball Diamond and Pittman Road, because they are gonna tear these roads up. It is happening right in front of our eyes, and it's just 4 days into it.
And it might be better to hold off till next year on picnic. I mean,
Well,
because of the truck, because they're not gonna be out of here in 3 months.
yeah, but also they're gonna be hitting us from the Ball Diamond side. And that midpoint is probably, I'm gonna guess as a crow flies, 2 miles each way. Close, and so they're gonna be hitting, because as far as 1346, they're going under 1346, so you know they're gonna have an ingress egress to get to East Loop Pond, which is the third crossing. So, I hate, again, I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just throwing out there the past. We got 32 miles, and every year we push something back. And you know what, if the contractor, if we decide on the contractor, if it gets that, it's gonna be another month, right, minimum? And if they say, give us an idea that, you know, they can do Pittman at a certain time, and we tie that in with Howard Energy and maybe get, all I'm saying is, I don't like putting off road projects, because every year you wait, that's that much further we get behind that cycle. And we've been doing 5 miles, okay, we got 32 miles, so that's roughly every 6.5 years, and that is too much time for me. Bear County does it every 3 or 4 years. We gotta get closer to that.
I understand Councilman Beck's concern, if we do it and they tear it out, then.
Right, and that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
once we find out from the contractor, that's gonna be at least a month and a half.
Switch that road to next year and put another road in place of it. And move it up.
Yeah.
And maybe the trucks won't be driving down so much. Because the Vernon Road, Pittman Road, back on that other side, they're gonna be having 18-wheelers coming in, hauling 3 pipes at a time, 40-footers or 50-foot pipes. And
Right, and that's why.
you saw did you see the driveway they put into Terry's property?
That's the bull rock that Mr. Hammond's talking, and Mr. Costa was talking about, but
It's 35 feet
Right.
wide.
Yeah.
That's just so that they can try to get the trucks in without going off the side of the road.
and that's a good thing about this, is it's on the west side of the city, except for Pittman. So Pittman is your wild card, and if Howard Energy says they're gonna, because once they get finished with that part, they're gonna stay on 1346 and 1518, getting to St. Hedwig Road, which is right off 1346 by the Ball Diamond, getting to Loop Pond, and getting to North Gable. That's all gonna be great town traffic. And 1346. Yeah,
It's a timeline though.
that's what I'm saying, once we find out from the contractor, you know, and if we bid it the right way, where we can take off, or maybe we get back with Jess, I hate to kick the can down the road another month, we get with Jess, I don't know what other road's gonna take up 2 miles, it's not gonna be traveled. But I think it's communication process between Howard Energy and whoever our awarded contract is.
That's not very cool, yeah. You got any?
I mean, I would say we go to, when he goes to bid, just say there, put a clause in it that says Pittman may get left off. If Howard Energy's telling us they're gonna, but since that's one of the first segments of this pipeline they're working on, I would think they're
Yeah,
gonna.
if we can get it, if they get that through, we can do it
Yeah.
after we go through. that.
Common sense tells you that if they're meeting in the middle at the very worst case scenario, because they're gonna attack it from the Ball Diamond side as well,
Yeah.
it's just a couple of miles, but that, I don't know anything about gas lines, so that may take 6 months. If it does, and we can't do that.
Going down Lavernia Road and the Acton side, I thought Carnival was coming in town.
Oh,
Up
it's-
there, up there, it's like.
It's,
Where it's crossing down on 1604 at those cross structures.
yeah, why are they crossing in a creek, parallel with the creek?
I saw it the other day.
It's your road, it's a TxDOT road, so.
That's why they can't run down TxDOT roads, because they're a private company, they're not supplying oil and gas to businesses between point A and point B.
They're not a private company, they're a municipality. They're not a municipality, but,
But they don't supply, that's why they're not able to run down 6 Mills or run it all the way down Ballard, Science, Avenue.
Yes, Marshall. Sorry. We've probably started seeing all these for a while.
Because I know eventually the question of enforcement is gonna come into play as far as what trucks are traveling on what roads and where they're going. If possible, maybe ask Howard Energy for a schedule, plan, where they're gonna start first and move on, restrict their truck route. That way, let them know, these trucks you're bringing in, you're delivering, these are the roads that they're allowed to travel. This is the way they come in, this is the way that they go out. And it would also help patrol to enforce that way they know, okay, these trucks are not supposed to be on this road. It wouldn't be interfering with commerce or deliveries or anything like that, but it would definitely help on the wear and tear of roads to